The first of two championship cases we will cover today, and this is the part of the playoff bracket that gets more interesting and more fun for me because these are the guys who would be considered long shots for the championship. You know, some guys, yes, they have a win this year, but they haven't been as consistent. They haven't been as good as, the top seeds, and that's, kind of how seeding works. They didn't have as many wins, as many playoff points, so they're not as high up, and they don't have as much of a chance at the championship, but I'm still going to give them a championship case. We're still going to talk about them. If you want to go look at the higher seeds, I've made a playlist. Go look at it. So, yeah. But as for today, it's going to be Chase Briscoe and Daniel Suarez. Two guys who got their first career wins this year. Chase Briscoe, who we're going to talk about right now, got his first win at a very important place, and that is Phoenix. Of course, Phoenix is the championship location. So, yeah. We'll talk about Chase Briscoe's season. He has had, of course, the one win, as I mentioned, 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s. He also has 3 stage wins. So that leads up to a grand total of 9 playoff points. Actually, I read that wrong. I was looking at DNFs. He has 4 stage wins. So, yeah, the win and then the 4 stage wins. So he has 9 playoff points from that. I looked at DNFs instead of stage wins. Pretty stupid of me. Anyways, Chase Briscoe, he's had it's been an up and down season. They actually started out the season very strong. He finished top 5 or top 10 in the Daytona 500. He was there in that small group of cars fighting for the win there at the end. He qualified really well at the beginning of the season. Like he was 4th at Vegas or something, and then they ran into trouble at that race. Phoenix, they looked really good again, and he led over 100 laps in that race and won. Then they've had their slumps and stuff, but then they've kind of showed their speed again, like in the Coca-Cola 600. Briscoe was fighting for the win there at the end before spinning himself out. Speaking of spinning himself and the leader out, he did that at the Bristol Dirt Race as well with Tyler Reddick. So they have shown their speed, but it's just a matter of finishing. It's just a matter of putting it all together. Chase Briscoe, he was actually on the NBC Sports show with Kyle Petty, not Matt, that's the son, Marty Snyder, and I think it's Steve Letarte maybe. But they were all on that kind of show where they take calls and talk to drivers and stuff. And Briscoe was saying he thinks they've actually shown a good amount of speed. It's just a matter of finishing. So, yeah, and then SHR, remember last year, they were just not that good. Only 1 win on the season. It was from Eric Almirola. This season, they've taken a step up, and they've shown signs of improvement. Of course, Briscoe with a win, Harvick with 2 wins. So SHR's looking a little bit better. They're not looking as good as they once were, when Harvick was getting 9 wins in a season. All 4 cars were in the playoffs or competing for wins, but they are looking a little bit better, which I think should help. So looking at the playoff schedule, interesting fact about this first round, which they also mentioned this on the NBC show. I literally just watched it before I watched this video. I figured I got to watch it before I make this Chase Briscoe championship case, but yeah, fun fact about this first round, Chase Briscoe has won an Xfinity race at all 3 of these tracks, Darlington, Kansas, and Bristol. So Briscoe, of course, he has been better at the shorter tracks, I would say. They have shown some speed at intermediates. Like I said, Vegas, Charlotte were a couple of examples, but overall I think the shorter tracks and the road courses are their strength. So I think Darlington and Bristol are going to have to be their focus for this first round. I don't know if they'll compete for the win, but I think top 10 is definitely a manageable result. I think they should aim for that, and if they can do that at Bristol and Darlington, and then just have a manageable run. Kansas, he spun out on lap 3, had a bad race there, and he just cannot afford that in this first round. He's in a really tight fight for the playoff points. He has 9 playoff points. The guy at the bottom of the grid, Austin Dillon, only has 5. So there's only a 4-point separation from 12th to 16th. He's right on that cutoff line, only 2 points above Daniel Suarez there. So he cannot afford any big wrecks or, any mechanical failures in a race, or it could come down to a must win. So I think this first round, they just need to focus on a clean round. Finish the race, top 15, top 10 in all 3. And I think it's very possible because the fact of the matter is other guys are going to have problems, Someone's going to get into the wall at Darlington. Someone's going to get a speeding penalty on a long green flag run, go a couple laps down. It's going to ruin their day. If they can just keep it clean, not have any problems, no penalties, no crashes, no mechanical failures, and just run top 15, top 10, I think they can get out of that first round. The second round, it helps them because they're an underdog, because they are not in the position of being like one of the top guys, where the top guys, they're going to potentially be going into Talladega above the cutoff, and they're going to have to be a little bit more conservative, and they can't, make as many aggressive moves, because if they get in the crash, they go from above to below. Whereas a guy like Chase Briscoe, after Texas, he's probably going to be below the cutoff line in the round of 12, and he could probably make some of those more aggressive moves, or potentially make some gambles for strategy if they are in a big hole. If they're in a small hole, maybe go for some stage points, but go for the win. Go for the win here. It could help. I know SHR hasn't had the greatest super speedway success outside of Eric Almirola, but I think that for Chase Briscoe, these last two races are very important in this round. Texas, SHR's run good there before, but Ford looked good there at the All-Star race. But overall, I just think Toyota is so fast at the 1.5 miles this year that they're going to be the favorites. It's going to be tough for Chase Briscoe to be up there with them. So I don't see him as a favorite there. It's going to be a tough race, I think. So I think these last two races, Briscoe's either going to have to look at top 5 runs, or he's going to have to look at winning one of these races. And I think the Roval's a better chance. Chase Briscoe is an incredible road course racer. He almost got his first win at the Indianapolis road course in 2021. He's won stages this year at Road America, Watkins Glen, other tracks, maybe Coda, I can't remember. But, he's won some stages. He's led some laps at road courses this year. I think he's going to be a favorite, or, not a favorite necessarily, but he's going to be up there with Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick. He's going to be up there, but Chevy has dominated the road courses, so Briscoe's got to be that guy. I think a Roval win is actually a real possibility. I'm not just saying this for the championship case. I think Briscoe could very well be in contention, in or out of the playoffs for this race win. So I think you need to look out for him. But if he wants to get out of the second round, I just don't think they're going to do great at Texas. I'm thinking maybe somewhere in the 15th to 20th range, and they're going to lose a lot of points in that race. Talladega, they can go points racing if they really want to, but if it's too big of a gap, they might just say, screw it. We're not going to make it in on points. Let's wait till stage 3 to start really racing. Wait for the big one to happen. Wait for people to go out of the race. And then you hope some of the contenders get taken out, maybe some of the higher up guys, and that you can take advantage of that and close the points gap, get a top 10, top 5. And if it's a close points battle, I think Briscoe's in a good position at the Roval because of how good he is at road courses. If it's him versus his teammate for the final spot, Chase Briscoe is a better road course racer than Kevin Harvick. No disrespect to Kevin Harvick. He's a Hall of Famer. He's won at road courses before. But road courses are not Kevin Harvick's strength, whereas road courses are one of Chase Briscoe's strengths. So if he's on that cutoff line, if it's a really close points battle going into the Roval, I would actually say he'd be favored versus, even someone like Ryan Blaney maybe, or, Alex Bowman, Austin Cindric. That would be a tight battle. That'd be actually a really fun battle. But Briscoe is a really good road course racer, and I think that could play to his advantage in a close points battle. As for the third round, it's going to be a little bit more tricky. As I said, they did show a lot of speed at Vegas in the spring, but they got caught up in a wreck. If they can show that same speed, run top 10, that would help. They're going to be in a points deficit in this round. It could come down to a must-win at Martinsville. Homestead, same thing. SHR hasn't been great on the intermediates. They have shown speed at times, but for Briscoe, this round's got to go perfect for him. They got to do what they did at Vegas in the spring, minus the crash, obviously. So run top 10, get stage points in that race. Miami, you got to hope that it's like Charlotte, and you got to run top 5, be in contention at the end. And as for Martinsville, he ran top 10 in the spring, but it's going to be a tight points battle. And if it's a tight points battle against Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, some guys who have a few wins at Martinsville, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. So Briscoe, I think this round could be a must-win, and I look at Vegas and Martinsville as those spots. Homestead's just an unknown because we haven't been there in the next-gen car. But Vegas, Briscoe showed speed in the spring. Martinsville, it's a short track, and as I said, Briscoe is better at the short track, so he could very well get it done there. So, first round, it looks like if they can just keep it clean, they can get through second round. Hope that others have problems and just run really good at Talladega and the Roval, and I think the Roval is definitely a possibility at the win. And then, of course, the third round, that's going to be a round they have to be perfect. They have to run top 5, top 10, lead laps, win stages, whatever they have to do, and it may come down to must win. And I would look at Vegas and Martinsville as that possibility. And if Chase Briscoe gets to the championship 4, he is in very good position. He won the spring race, led over 100 laps in that race. Ford looked phenomenal in that race. Him and Ryan Blaney just dominated that race. Kevin Harvick is the king of Phoenix, so if Harvick doesn't make the Final Four and Briscoe does, he is going to have a great guy to look up to, a great guy to give him some advice. So I think if Briscoe makes the championship 4, it's possible. Obviously, there's a possibility the top 3 wreck, as I always say. But I'm serious. I think if Briscoe can somehow, some way get into that championship 4, it's possible. Even against guys like Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, even Ryan Blaney, or someone like that. With the speed Briscoe showed in the spring and the help he's going to have at SHR with Kevin Harvick, it's possible. So you never know. You never know. But yeah, so to wrap this up, he's going to need playoff points. They're going to be difficult to get, but he does need them. The first round, just keep it clean. Second round, you may need a win, but the Roval is a possibility for a win. And as for the third round, you got to be absolutely perfect. No mistakes. Top 5, top 10 in every one of those races. And if not, maybe a win at Martinsville or Vegas. And as for the championship race, if he gets there, he's going to show speed. I really do think he will. But yeah, that's the Chase Briscoe championship case. We will see how he does in his first ever NASCAR Cup Series playoff appearance. But yeah, that's all I got for Briscoe. Next up will be Suarez, Daniel Suarez. He got his first win this year as well. A lot of first-time winners this year. Reddick, Chastain, Briscoe, Suarez, Cindric. Anyone else that I'm missing here? I think that's it. But anyways, thanks for watching this. I will add this to the playlist. You'll see the Suarez one in the playlist. Go to the playlist. That's where all they are. If you're a Chase Elliott fan, you're like, where's the Chase Elliott video? It's in the playlist, so go to the playlist, would you? But yeah, thanks for watching this, and I'll see you for the Daniel Suarez video.